Tonight on First at 9, back to former status. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa vows to correct the wrongs of the past.
I take this opportunity to pledge before the armed forces of Sri Lanka that the humiliation and injustice they were subjected will be rectified.
The post-mortem. Presidential Commission hears of acts of skullduggery by the Kotahena police in the aftermath of Easter Sunday attack. UNP wars worsen. Party Working Committee members request a meeting next week, while some high-profile members are accused of disruptive behaviour. Brexit assured. British PM Boris Johnson's Conservatives record a landslide election win.
We did it! We pulled it off, didn't we?
All this and much more coming up on First at 9, this Friday the 13th of December 2019.
මේ සීන් එකෙන් කට් වෙන්න ඇන්ටිජර්ම් මවුත්වොෂ් සමගින් එන ක්ලෝස් අප් ජෙල් එක ස්ටෝරි එක ස්ටාර්ට් කරන්න.
Hi.
Hi.
From AdaDerana, this is AdaDerana First at 9. Live from Studio 24 in Colombo.
A warm welcome to this Friday's edition of First at 9 on AdaDerana 24. I'm Indivri Amuatha. We begin with your top story tonight. The Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the Easter Sunday attacks was told that certain pages of police logbooks were replicated with fabricated information by the Kotahena police in an attempt to obfuscate the truth about the horrific series of attacks on the 21st of April. Police officers have been giving evidence before the Commission yesterday and today too, with various acts of skullduggery which had taken place in the aftermath of the attacks being revealed.
Constable A.L. Nalin Bandara, who worked in archives at the Kotahena police station, gave evidence before the Presidential Commission of Inquiry probing the Easter Sunday attacks yesterday. In his testimony, Constable Nalin Bandara said that he received a document on the Easter attacks 2 days after it happened. He also revealed that the then OIC of the Kotahena police station, Mahinda Karunaratne, instructed him to log that he received the document prior to the attack. He added Karunaratne made evident that it will remain a secret since no one was in the vicinity when the constable received the document. He added that in the immediate aftermath of the attack, SP Sanjeeva Bandara, who was in charge of Colombo North, and his private assistant Upendra contacted him via his mobile phone and the police general line to ask whether the document was logged. Accordingly, the constable said that he made note in police logbooks that the document was received on the 13th of April. When questioned as to why he made such a fabrication, the constable responded saying he did it upon the request of the Kotahena Police OIC. Next to testify before the commission was Inspector M. Sirisena Abesinghe of the Kotahena Police. He said that although it was logged that he set off for duty at the St. Lucia Church on the day of the attack at 6:15 in the morning, he actually went there at 8:45 am after the explosion. He added that he logged a bogus time and was at home when the OIC of Kotahena Police called him and informed of the attack on the Kochikade shrine, after which he went to the scene. The inspector also noted that he returned to the police station and amended the time, set off for duty at 9:45 am. Furthermore, he said that all the timings were changed upon the request of the Kotahena Police OIC, Mahinda Karunaratne. Inspector Abesinghe meanwhile conceded that page numbers were reinstated to the police logbook from pages 371 to 374 to match the sequence. While admitting that he logged wrong details, the inspector also admitted that the log was amended to indicate that more police officers set off for duty instead of the real number. In the meantime, the commission started recording evidence from police officers today at around 2 p.m. Former OIC of the Kotahena police station, Mahinda Karunaratne, appeared before the commission and said that a document on the Easter attacks was not received by the police station prior to the April 21st, but the relevant documents were sent to the police station in the afternoon of the day of the attack by SP Sanjeeva Bandara's personal assistant, Inspector Upendra, via another police officer. He added that SP Sanjeeva Bandara arrived at the Kotahena police station at around 9 p.m. on the day of the attack. He also said that SP Sanjeeva Bandara informed him that the relevant documents could not be sent to the police station since his personal assistant had misplaced it. Furthermore, the SP had instructed that the logbook would have to be amended to show that the documents were received by the Kotahena police station prior to the attack.
Gel scene action. Anti-germ mouthwash samagin ena close-up gel එක story එක start karanna.
The Attorney General's Department informed the Supreme Court today that the government has taken a decision to not take any steps to ink the Millennium Challenge Cooperation Agreement until a review is complete. Now, the fundamental rights petitions filed against the signing of this agreement with the United States, seeking an order declaring that the decision taken by the previous government to ink the pact is in violation of the Constitution, were called before the 5-member judge bench of the Supreme Court. This morning, the bench, comprised of Justices L.T.B. Dehidenia, Buenaka Aluvihare, S. Raja, Murdu Fernando and Gamini Amarasekara. The petitions are scheduled to be taken up again on the 25th of March 2020, and the judge bench ordered the Deputy Solicitor General to brief the court on the process of the review at the next hearing. The Attorney General, former President Maithripala Sirisena, former Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe, former Foreign Affairs Minister Tilak Marapana and former Finance Minister Mangala Samaravira are named as respondents of the petitions. The petitioners claim that the MCC agreement, which is to be signed without the consent of Parliament and the public, could seriously harm the national security and sovereignty of the country.
දරුවාගේ අස්ථි ප්‍රතිශක්තිකරණ පද්ධතිය සහ මානසික ක්‍රියා නිසි පරිදි පවත්වාගෙන යාමට දායක වන කැල්සියම්, විටමින් C සහ යකඩ අඩංගු මයිලෝ සමගින් පෝෂණයෙන් ඉදිරියට.
ඕනෑම ප්‍රමාණයක ටීවී සඳහා 50ක් දක්වා වට්ටා. දිවයින පුරා Soft Logic සහ Soft Logic Max ප්‍රදර්ශනාගාරවලින්.
In your developing story, the local Swiss embassy staffer who is alleged to have been abducted appeared before the CID to record the remainder of her statement for a 4th day today. The court yesterday also ordered a psychiatric evaluation of the alleged victim, whose account of the alleged incident is reported to differ from the account initially provided to police by the Swiss embassy.
The Colombo Magistrates Court yesterday rejected a request made by the attorneys of the local staffer at the Swiss Embassy, Garnier Bannister Francis, to record the remainder of her statement at the Swiss ambassador's residence. The staffer's poor health was cited as the reason for the request. With that being the case, she was summoned to the CID to record a statement for a 4th day today. Garnier Bannister Francis is also to be referred to a panel of psychiatrists for a report on her mental health. Meanwhile, several factions commented on the incident today as well.
මේක මේ කවුද කරන්න කියන එක ගැන අපිට ප්‍රශ්නයක් තියෙනවා. මොකද ස්විට්සර්ලන්තය කියන රට විදියට ඒක කරනවද නැත්නම් තානාපති කාර්යාලය ඇතුලේ ඉන්න ආණ්ඩු විරෝධී බලවේගයක් ඒක කරනවද කියන කාරණය සොයා ගන්න ඕනේ. ඒ නිසා තමයි මේ අදාළ අන්‍යධාරණයට විරුද්ධව ගත හැකි ක්‍රියාමාර්ග අපි ගන්නවා. ඒකට බොහොම පැහැදිලිව එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂයේ සංවිධායකතුමෙකු සම්බන්ධයි කියන කාරණය බොහොම දැන් පැහැදිලිව ඔප්පු වෙමින් තිබෙනවා. ඒ නිසා අපි ඔවුන්ට විරුද්ධව ආණ්ඩුවෙන් ඉල්ලනවා වහාම ක්‍රියාමාර්ග ගන්න.
මම හිතන්නේ දැන් මේ වෙනකොට ඉතාම පැහැදිලි නේද මේක සම්පූර්ණ නිෂ්පාදනය එක්සත් ජාතික පක්ෂය අධ්‍යක්ෂක රාජීසේන රත්න නිලධාරීන් නිලියක් පමණයි කියන කාරණේ සම්පූර්ණයෙන් පැහැදිලි.
අපිට හිතෙනවා මේ වෙනකොට නිශාන්ත කන්දප්ප කියන CID එකේ පොලිස් නිලධාරියාට යන්න සියලු මාර්ග සකස් කරලා දුන්නේ මේ කාන්තාව වෙන්න පුළුවන්. එතකොට මේ කාන්තාවත් මේ සිද්ධිය දාලා ඒ වෙලාවෙම රටින් පිටුවහල් වුණා නම් අපට සමහරලාට වෙන්නේ අර අර්ජුන මහේන්ද්‍රන්ට වෙච්ච සිද්ධවීම. මේක සැලසුම් සාගත ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක්. මේක රටට වෙන ජාත්‍යන්තරයෙන් රටට වෙන අපකීර්තියක් පිළිබඳව ප්‍රශ්නේ තියෙන්නේ.
මේ නාඩගම ගැන කිසිදු තොරතුරක් සොයා බැලීමකින් වගකීමකින් රහිතව සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මේ රටට එරෙහිව මහා කළු පැල්ලමක් ඇති කළා, රජයේ ලොකු වැරැද්දක් කළේ මේ ආදී වශයෙන් මහා කතාවක් රටට හෙළි කරා. තමන්ගේ මාතෘ භූමියට අබමල් රේණුවක ගෞරවයක් නැති සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාසල වගේ මිනිසුන්ව මේ රටේ විපක්ෂ නායක ධූරයට පත් කරන්න එපා.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has instructed relevant officials to bring other countries up to speed on Sri Lanka's policies geared towards meeting the country's power needs in a bid to attract investors for new projects. Now, the head of state issued the directive during a meeting worked off with officials of the Ministry of Power and Energy, as well as of other institutions which come under the ministry's purview.
President Gotabaya Rajapaksa called a meeting with the Ministry of Power and Energy at the President's office yesterday, along with other institutions and officials coming under its purview. Minister of Power and Energy Mahinda Amaravira and State Minister of the subject Mahindananda Alutgamage also participated in the discussion. Participating in the meeting, representatives of the Ceylon Electricity Board and Sri Lanka Sustainable Energy Authority discussed the issues prevalent at the institution and any possible immediate solutions. The officials also pledged their fullest support to the proposals relating to the field of power and energy in the policy manifesto of President Rajapaksa. The President has also instructed the officials to adopt a formal procurement process to attract foreign investors by making other countries aware of Sri Lanka's policies.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa vows to rectify the mistakes made by the past government, including what he called the humiliation and injustice inflicted on the members of the armed forces. Addressing the graduation ceremony of the Defence Services Command and Staff College, the Premier assured initiatives at an international level to restore the respect and dignity that the Sri Lankan armed forces deserve.
After I took office as President in 2005, I appointed the best person I knew for the job to the position of Defence Secretary, and on his recommendations, appointed other suitable officers and put in place the military machine that won the war. Today, that Defence Secretary Gotabaya Rajapaksa is your President and Commander-in-Chief, elected by the people with an overwhelming mandate. With just days to go to the 10th anniversary of the victory against the LTT, we had the Easter Sunday's suicide bombings carried by an extremist organization. So this new terrorist threat will have to be contained by whatever means necessary. Unlike the war against LTT, which required ground, sea and air operations, this new threat at this stage requires mainly intelligence operations. Unfortunately, over the past 5 years, the intelligence services were rendered completely inoperative. Members of the intelligence services were persecuted, harassed, and jailed by the previous government on false charges. The entire high command of the armed forces during the war against the LTT was brought before the police, with a great deal of media publicity to answer to all kinds of allegations. The idea was to create the impression in the minds of Sri Lankans and the international community that our armed forces were not war heroes, but thieves and murderers. No government of any country in the world has humiliated its own armed forces in this manner. Change of government of January 2015 was almost as if a hostile foreign force had invaded and taken over Sri Lanka. A comprehensive program was launched to demoralize the armed forces, to intimidate the Mahasangha. All of you are aware of the manner in which the previous government went to the UN Human Rights Council and co-sponsored a resolution against Sri Lanka, pledging among other things to institute war crimes trial against members of the armed forces with the participation of foreign judges and prosecutors. That was done by a Sri Lankan government. Today, the people of this country have elected a president with an overwhelming mandate. I take this opportunity to pledge before the armed forces of Sri Lanka that the humiliation and injustice they were subjected over the past 5 years will be rectified. Initiatives will be taken at the international level of restore to our armed forces the respect and dignity they deserve. There are instances where certain foreign parties objected to promotions made within our armed forces. No sovereign country will allow such foreign interference. We, the political authorities, will provide the armed forces of Sri Lanka with the leadership to achieve the objective of ensuring the national security of a sovereign Sri Lanka. That is our pledge to the armed forces and the people of Sri Lanka.
A group of working committee members of the United National Party has submitted a letter to party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe today, calling to convene the committee before the 20th of this month. The letter clarifies the signatures of 26 members of the working committee. In the meantime, 3 members of the committee appointed by the UNP leader to make submissions on the issue of party leadership and the looming elections say they no longer are willing to function in the committee.
Leader of the United National Party, former Premier Ranil Wickremesinghe recently appointed a 6-member committee tasked with deciding actions on the party's leadership and the upcoming general election. The committee comprises of parliamentarians Lakshman Kiriyalla, Wajira Abewardena and Professor Ashu Marasinghe. Ranjit Madduma Bandara, Malik Samaravikrama and Talatha Atukorala also in the committee, who are supporters of Sajith Premadasa. From the cadre, MPs Ranjit Madduma Bandara, Malik Samaravikrama and Talatha Atukorala have informed the committee yesterday that they would not participate for its future sittings. The move was made in opposition to the proposal to appoint a leadership council for the next general election.
නැවත අපි කිසිම සාකච්ඡාවකට කොමිටියේ සමාජිකයින් හැටියට සහභාගී වෙන්නේ නැහැ. මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් පක්ෂයේ කෘත්‍යාධිකාරී මණ්ඩලයක් හැඳවලා තීරණයක් අපිට ලබා දෙයි කියන බලාපොරොත්තුව තමයි අපේ තියෙන්නේ.
In response to the decision, MPs Lakshman Kiriyalla, Wajira Abewardena and Professor Ashu Marasinghe issued a statement saying that such actions are a hindrance to the party's restructural program. The statement, however, was not inked by any PMs, despite it being issued under a UNP letterhead. It went on to say that the committee agreed to hand the premiership candidacy as well as the opposition leadership to Sajith Premadasa. With that being the case, the statement adds that it is pitiful to insult the party and its members with claims of forming other parties and intentions to contesting the polls via them, as well as disrupting the restructural process, highlighting the disunity within the party. Meanwhile, a letter signed by 26 working committee members of the UNP was handed over to party leader Ranil Wickremesinghe, requesting that the working committee be convened before the 20th. The 26 signatories include parliamentarians Kabir Hashim, Malik Samaravikrama, Mangala Samaravira, Harsha De Silva and Talatha Atukorala, as well as Harin Fernando.
And we take a short commercial break on First at 9. We'll return soon. Welcome back. Parliamentarian Partli Champika Ranawaka was slapped with an overseas travel ban today in relation to a traffic collision back in 2016 when a motorcyclist was left with serious injuries. At the time of the incident, the vehicle in question had fled. However, a youth who was with the victim had given chase and stopped the vehicle. He said that Partli Champika Ranawaka, who was a cabinet minister at the time, was behind the wheel. Despite that being the case, another individual surrendered to police, claiming to be the driver of the vehicle in question. Police, however, told the court that CCTV footage of the incident from a nearby camera have been deleted. The Colombo Crime Division conducted another probe, and when the case was taken up today, the magistrate ordered an overseas travel ban on both MP Partli Champika Ranawaka and the alleged driver of the vehicle. Taking you to the Colombo Stock Exchange, shares at Sri Lanka's bourse fell today, recording a drop of 0.65% in the all share price index, the benchmark index, to 6,089.67. Foreign investors continue to be net sellers in the equity market. However, with the upcoming festive season, the bourse for the next few days is to remain volatile but stagnant with low level and volume. Now, here's a look at how markets performed during today.
With the festive season, both capital markets are likely to remain dull during next week. If you take the bond market, we expect bond rates to remain broadly unchanged with a low level of activity. However, there could be some improvement in the liquidity levels which may bring some buying interest into the market. In the equity market, of course, we expect market activity to again remain low in the coming week as well with the upcoming festive season. Overall, the bourse may remain volatile but stagnant with low level of turnover and volume. We expect foreign activity to also dry up. However, foreign outflows of course may continue, though at a lower scale.
And the local currency ended at 181 rupees and 87 cents against the US dollar, compared with yesterday's close of 180.80. Here's a look at how the local currency traded against other major currencies during the day. The Brexit has cost the United Kingdom more premiers. We'll bring you details of the latest prime ministerial election results after this break. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison today appointed a woman to head a major Australian spy agency for the first time. Rachel Nobler, which will become the next Director General of the Australian Signals Directorate, which intercepts electronic communications from foreign countries. In a statement, both Prime Minister and the Australian Defence Minister said that her appointment to this leadership role is a significant step forward for women in the national security sector. Noble, who will begin her new role in February 2020, will lead the Australian Signals Directorate at a time when Australia is increasingly concerned about cyber attacks. That wraps up tonight's edition of your English service of AdaDerana 24. Thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening. Good night.